What is going on, everybody? ZyoniK here, and in today's video, oh man, we are gonna see some booms here with the shiny Community Day Talonflame. This last weekend was Fletchling's Community Day. If you guys evolved it to Talonflame, you got the fast move of Incinerate, which is now a legacy move. If you guys missed this Community Day, be sure to ask your locals to try to get a trade, or you'll have to use an Elite Fast TM in order to get Incinerate. Now, we are also bringing Medicham and Umbreon, a very unconventional roster right here that you guys can see. But all of these Pokemon in their own right have potentials to hard counter a lot of teams. Medicham closing is very, very strong. Umbreon's probably going to draw out that Charmer or a potential fighter that we can farm down with Talonflame. And you guys also may be asking, what about Azumarill? Azumarill can beat Talonflame, it can beat Medicham, and it can beat Umbreon. Well, it's a team effort to take it down, and I'm going to show you guys how to take it down today, so do not worry. Let me know how you guys are doing in the Great League for Go Battle League here in Season 7. Have you guys used Talonflame? It is a ton of fun to use. I highly recommend it, but Incinerate is definitely tough to get used to. So be sure to smash that like button, and let's go ahead and get right into it. Okay, getting into this first battle, for everyone going down to the comment section asking, what do you do against an Azumarill? Well, here we go. We'll find out. Firstly, bubbles don't do too much damage, so what I want to do is build up as much energy as I can and then try to swap into Umbreon on a potential Ice Beam right here. So I swap into Umbreon. Now, they kept farming, which is fine. They are going to be throwing their charge move now. Probably going to be a play rough, and this is why they're going to stay in this matchup. It's actually going to be Hydro Pump, which means they're probably running Hydro Pump Ice Beam, which is fine. This is why you safe swap to Umbreon, is because that Azumarill is going to want to stay in there. And there's probably things in the back that Talonflame could potentially beat, or Medicham could potentially beat. So as long as this Azumarill stays in this fight, I'm perfectly fine. They're going for an Ice Beam right now. Doesn't do too much damage. I'm not going to give up any shields. My shields will go into Talonflame against this Azumarill right here. But what you want to do is definitely have this legacy move of Last Resort. It's the ability to hit neutral against Azumarill is very, very important. And as you guys can see, Umbreon, yes, it loses to Azumarill, but I'm able to completely farm it down. Now, I also don't want them to completely farm me down, so I'm going to swap right away, especially since I just got a shield right there. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this Flame Charge right here. We get the second shield. This is game over. This is absolutely game over. Talonflame can tank these bubbles pretty well. I'm going to go ahead and shield myself, but the fact that they just shielded that Azumarill twice tells me they're weak in the back to a Talonflame. So we're going to go ahead and throw this Flame Charge to take out the Azumarill. And Lord have mercy what they have in the back. I'm going to guess there's a Grass, maybe there's a Fighter. It's going to be a Galarian Stunfisk. Alright, let's see if this Talonflame can one-shot right here. Here comes the first Flame Charge after double boosting. Let's see what happens. Ready, steady, boom! Takes out Galarian Stunfisk, and the final Pokemon is Meganium. So there you go, Talonflame able to sweep the back line. That is why you safe swap to that Umbreon, because the Azumarill just wants to stay in that fight, right? Alright, so we have Azumarill versus, Talonflame versus Skarmory now on the lead. A very, very nice lead matchup. They now swap into Azumarill. So what I do in this matchup is, because they're behind on energy, I can safely throw this bubble without fearing an Ice Beam hitting me. And what I'll do then after throwing this Brave Bird, we'll go ahead and swap now into the Umbreon and again do the same matchup as before. We may lose this, especially if they have Play Rough, which they do. But what we want to do is get this Azumarill low so that Talonflame can come back in again, farm down, and then sweep the rest of the game. So we're going to go ahead and throw these Last Resorts right here. Does nice neutral damage against the Azumarill, but we're really not going to give up any shields here. There's no reason to, right? So we're going to go ahead and let this Umbreon go down. The Play Rough is actually not enough to take us out, so we can get to one Last Resort right here. And then hopefully I can actually get to another one, or at least a Foul Play. Any added chip damage will really help out in this matchup, yeah. Hopefully we can get to this Foul Play right here, which I do get to it. This extra chip damage is so nice right here against this Azumarill. So they were able to flip the matchup, but that's okay. I got shield advantage, which is incredible for a Medicham or a Talonflame. So we're going to go ahead and bring in that Talonflame again. We're going to look to farm down. We got an Incinerate through, which is beautiful. We're going to go ahead and shield right here. We don't want to get hit by an Ice Beam, Play Rough. Hydro Pump, nothing. We're just going to go ahead and commit to that farm down, and then now throw the Flame Charge before they can get to another Ice Beam. That's very important. I want to boost that attack without having to give up my final shield because I may need Medicham. Now, they decided to shield again. I'm like, okay, they're asking for it. I'm going to go ahead and shield right here, and then just commit to the farm down here against Azumarill, and whatever's in the back, including that Skarmory, is probably going to be very, very weak. So let's see what it is. It's going to be, let's see here. Skarmory's going to come back in. We're going to go for this Flame Charge right away. We are already boosted, so this is going to do massive damage here against the Skarmory. And I noticed they're actually running Steel Wing instead of Air Slash, which is unfortunate for them. They are still going to go down, and the final Pokemon is going to be a Vigoroth right here. So we're going to go ahead and go for the double or triple boosted Brave Bird right here. I imagine this is going to be a big boom. Here we go. Boom! Takes out the Vigoroth, and that is going to be a good battle. Very well played. So there you go, for all my Azumarill commenters down in the comment section right there. There you go. All right, so we have Skarmory again on the lead. I faced a lot of Skarmorys on the lead. Not going to lie, this one now has Air Slash this time. And they swap into Umbreon. So I'm trying to swap into Medicham right here. Medicham, it's a decent neutral matchup. Even though we are doing super effective damage with counter, and neutral with that Ice Punch, these last resorts and foul plays do quite a bit of neutral damage as well. And because Umbreon is very tanky and can spam those charge moves, it may come down to the wire where I may have to shield right here because it all depends on what they have in the back. I obviously want to keep my Talonflame against that Skarmory because it's a very positive matchup for me. So we're going to go ahead and go for these Ice Punches right here. This is why I like having Ice Punch for neutral damage. Helps out against the flyers like Skarmory or Altaria, for example, and then helps out against grass like Venusaur, Shadow Victory Bell, which you guys will see later on in this video. So we go ahead and farm down the Umbreon right there, which is great. We're going to see Skarmory come back in. Hopefully we can get to an Ice Punch in time. We cannot, though. We go down, but that's okay. We have a charge move ready to go, so we're going to throw it right away. This is going to put a lot of pressure on this Skarmory to shield, and we'll have to see what they decide to do. So they decided to shield, that's fine. I do get an Incinerate through as well, which is beautiful. We're going to go ahead and shield ourselves. It's just going to be a Sky Attack, but we are boosted right now and things are dangerous. Now they have Scrafty in the back. Medicham would have been really nice to close out against that Scrafty, but Talonflame does really good as well, especially since we're just going for these flame charges right here. And as you guys can see, Incinerate is just doing more and more damage. I can safely shield right here. Even if this is Power Up Punch, they won't have enough time to get to a Foul Play and a Power Up Punch because I'm just going to go for this next Incinerate. Now I could have gone for Brave Bird right there, but Incinerate I think is, this next Flame Charge is going to do enough damage to take out the Scrafty, which it is, and then we are going to see the Skarmory come back in. Oh my gosh, it's doing like a quarter, if not a little less, of Skarmory's health per Incinerate. One fast move doing a quarter of Skarmory's health. That's ridiculous. Flame Charge takes out Skarmory, and that is going to be a good battle. Very well played. Talonflame is deadly, everyone. It absolutely is deadly. In the simulations, it's decent, not too hot. But in battle, it's really, really nice. So we're facing off against a Tropius here, and they bring in a Medicham. So they actually may not have a hard counter right here. And if they do, I'm guessing it's going to be a Bastiodon in the back or a Galarian Stunfisk. So I'm going to go ahead and not shield right there. It was just a power-up punch, and I can just go for flame charges now. We're going to stay in this matchup. I don't need to bring in Umbreon. I don't need to bring in Medicham right here into the mirror match. We're just going to stay in this fight and just go for flame charges because Talonflame becomes absolutely ridiculous the more flame charges you do because that Incinerate damage really starts to add up. So we do get a shield right there as well. So I'm going to go ahead and shield this next charge move. This could be an Ice Punch. They could be running Power Up Punch, Ice Punch, but it is just Power Up Punch, which is fine. We can now commit to the farm down before they get to another charge move. Talonflame looking really, really nice right now, and they bring back in Tropius, which tells me they may actually not have an answer here for Talonflame. We'll have to see how much damage this does. This does a lot. Boom! Nearly takes out the Tropius, and it goes down, and the final Pokemon is going to be a Bastiodon. Really interesting choice by my opponent for bringing Tropius into my Talonflame right there and basically one-shotting it because they could have brought in Bastiodon to farm down. I would have then swapped to Umbreon, been in a neutral matchup, and Medicham would have closed the game for me anyways. But that's okay right here. Medicham's going to be able to close this game out, and that will be a good battle. Very well played to my opponent. So again, Talonflame is very, very deadly if you cannot line up extreme hard counters to it. Alright, so we have Talonflame versus Talonflame. bound to happen. This thing is a brand new Community Day Pokemon, which is amazing. So we'll have to see how this matchup plays out. I'm just going to try to keep going for fast moves, and I do get an extra Incinerate there, right there, which is amazing because I can safely shield. It is just going to be a Flame Charge, which is unfortunate, but they swap into Azumarill, so I'm going to go ahead and go for Brave Bird. Again, I can safely throw this. They only got one bubble in so far, so I might be able to get to another. So we do get a shield, and I'm going to go ahead and go for another Brave Bird right here. This is going to do a lot of damage. It does 50% of their health non-boosted. 50% of Azumarill's health. Boom! Takes it out. But then I over-tap, which is unfortunate. That's very scary when it comes to a Talonflame, is over-tapping with fast moves because Incinerate locks you in there for so long. So I could have kept like 40% of my health, but instead I'm at like 20% or less. Now I have to bring in the Umbreon right here to Azumarill. Again, going for these last resorts, we just want to chip away the health and hopefully take out this Azumarill right here. So we do land it, which is beautiful, and that means we can farm down, and we have energy ready to go for that Talonflame that's likely going to be coming back in. So we're just going to be throwing foul plays right now, and we're not going to shield. We have to save our shield for our own Talonflame or most likely our Medicham. But we do get a shield right there against Talonflame, which is actually really nice. So we're going to try to go for this next foul play, but we can't get to it in time. So we're going to go ahead and let this go through. It is just a Flame Charge, which is not enough to take us out, and they do decide to swap into a Diggersby. So I try to go for this Flame Charge right here. I fast swapped right away. I was meaning to swap into Medicham and then just go for the Ice Punch and farm down and throw an Ice Punch against the Talonflame. But I misclicked and hit my own Talonflame, which I guess works out as well because they'll have to use energy to take me out. And then now I can bring in Medicham with a shield, with Ice Punch and Psychic, and basically farm down this Diggersby right here. Now, I cannot shield an Earthquake. Diggersby typically run with Fire Punch Earthquake. They could also have Hyper Beam, but it's not going to one-shot me. What will one-shot me is a Brave Bird, which I cannot give up a shield against this Diggersby for. So I'm going to go ahead and count the fast moves. They were just about to be at a Fire Punch, so I have to throw this Ice Punch right here because I do not want to give up a shield. And then when the Talonflame comes back in, we're just going to go ahead and shield their charge move and go for this Psychic, but they haven't thrown it just yet. So this Psychic right here is going to do a lot of neutral damage in the matchup. Hopefully it's enough to take it out. Ooh, barely, not enough, but we can farm down right here, and that is going to be a good battle. Very well played to my opponent. All right, moving into this next one, we have Talonflame versus Gyarados, Shadow Gyarados as well. I'm guessing it's Waterfall. I have to swap right away, and it is a Waterfall Gyarados, so we do get into this Umbreon. Now, they have a Medicham in the back, which is unfortunate. We're just going to try our best to spam foul plays, and I'm hoping to get shield advantage. That's what's very important right here. I know I won't win switch advantage, but if I can get shield advantage right here, that would be really, really nice, because then Talonflame may have an opportunity, or Medicham may have an opportunity to sweep endgame with Brave Bird, Flame Charge, etc. So what we're hoping to do is just keep throwing these foul plays against Snarl on that fast move. You don't want to have Feint Attack. If you're running an Umbreon with Feint Attack, I'm sorry, but it's not good. The energy gain from it is not very good, but Snarl is. So definitely be running Snarl right here. We're going to go ahead and let this Power Up Punch go through. Can we get to this next foul play? No, we cannot. That is unfortunate. So we're going to have to bring in Talonflame right now, get massively ahead on energy. And then we will also have to shield ourselves, which is unfortunate because we don't want a Psychic to hit us or an Ice Punch. It probably is going to be a Psychic though, which it is, so that's a good shield right there. And we are just going to farm down. Now, we have a decent amount of energy. This is good energy advantage, and if this was even shields 1-to-1, this would be amazing. So we're going to go ahead and throw this Flame Charge right here. Gets a shield. We're going to go ahead and swap now into the Medicham, but they have a Shadow Victory Bell in the back. So what we're going to do is going to go ahead and build up and then go for this Ice Punch. I should have just thrown it almost right away, but they decide, I can't tell you just yet. We take out the Shadow Victory Bell with the Ice Punch right there. They decide to shield, and we're going to go ahead and go for this Ice Punch now. I should have thrown the Ice Punch sooner, so that I could have more health, because this Gyarados now is going to farm me down, which is unfortunate, because what you guys are going to see is I don't sneak in a fast move right there, which I really needed to. I really needed a fast move right there because I'm 2 Incinerates away. So there's 1, there's 2, not enough to get to Brave Bird, and they do have the Aqua Tail ready to go. So good battle to my opponent right there. Couple mistakes on my end. Should have thrown the Ice Punch sooner, and should have tried to get a fast move through if I could have. All right. Moving into this next battle, we have Talonflame versus Alolan Marowak. All right, GOAT. Are you ready to take a Brave Bird to the face? We'll have to find out. So in this matchup right here, you have to watch out for Shadow Bone and Shadow Ball, but you can get to that Brave Bird relatively quickly. And the second we throw this, we're going to swap as well. But here it comes. Ready? Boom! Nearly one-shot the Alolan Marowak, and we swap straight into Umbreon, and now they bring in a Swampert right here, which is actually a really good matchup for us. We can get Shield and or switch advantage in this matchup because Hydro Cannons don't do too much damage, but Foul Play does quite a bit to a Swampert, which is very squishy, and we can gain energy again very quickly with that Snarl. So as you guys can see, we're just going to keep overloading on energy. We decide to throw this next Foul Play right here. We should start to see shields now go down. They're going to have to keep this Swampert alive unless they have something really strong and bulky in the back, but there goes the first shield, and we will see another charge move come through. We're not going to shield ourselves. Again, we're going to save it for Medicham or Talonflame to sweep for us, and we're hopefully going to get to this next Foul Play, which we do. Now, this Foul Play will be enough damage to take out the Swampert, so we'll probably see another shield, which we do. And then they swap now, or they swap right now, into Alolan Marowak. And this is going to be a Bone Club, which not enough damage to take out my Umbreon, so Alolan Marowak goes down. And now I have another Foul Play ready to go for that Swampert. So very unfortunate for my opponent. The Alolan Marowak had nowhere to go. And then the final Pokemon is going to be a Skarmory, so we can bring in the Talonflame right there, and that is going to be a good battle. Very well played. Really unfortunate timing by my opponent, but Umbreon, absolute tank, which is why I said some games you guys are going to do really well with it. Alright, moving into this next battle. We have... Alright, let's see here. We got Talonflame. Oh, it's starting quick versus Obstagoon. That was a delayed start, which is unfortunate. But in this matchup, it's okay to just keep going for Flame Charges. Now, if they're going for Night Slash right away, you guys can let those go through. But if they're building up to a potential Gunk Shot, that's when you're going to need to potentially shield. So I'm going to go ahead and shield this first one because I wasn't able to count the fast moves from the beginning. I think they got like 2 or 3. We're going to go ahead and just shield that first one. They decide to throw again, so this is definitely going to be a Night Slash. It's neutral damage and not too much. We can tank it, especially since we resist counter because of our flying typing. So we're going to go ahead and go for another Flame Charge right there, and this is where Talonflame becomes so deadly. If you cannot take out a Talonflame instantly, once it has this much energy and this much boosted damage, even with a little bit of health, it's going to be very unfortunate. So I'm hoping to get to this Flame Charge. I don't get it in time, so I'm going to have to let Talonflame now go down. But I have a really good matchup right here with Medicham into the Swampert with these counters, and we'll have to see what it's going to be in the back. So we're just going to go ahead and stay in this matchup. I'm not going to give up a shield just yet. Again, we don't know what's in the back. I don't get one shot by Hydro Cannon, which is fine. We can tank that first one. We are going to see an Alolan Marowak in the back. Oh, that's unfortunate. It's going to face an Umbreon right here. Now, I am fearful of Fire Blast, but they threw the charge move very quickly, which means this cannot be a Fire Blast. It is just going to be a Shadow Ball, which is resisted right there. So we're going to go ahead and build up to 2 Foul Plays and just throw it. They are throwing another charge move. We don't need to shield at all. Medicham can close this game out for us perfectly fine with the shield. Umbreon as well with these Foul Plays is going to be doing super effective damage because of that ghost typing there on the Alolan Marowak. So they do decide to shield, so I'm going to go ahead and throw a Foul Play again right away. I don't want them to potentially swap out into that Swampert, so we're going to go ahead and throw it, and then now I'm going to look to swap out once they throw this charge move because I'm anticipating them swapping out as well. So I'm going to go ahead and spam the swap button there into Medicham, and sure enough, they swapped into Swampert right away. And we're just going to go ahead and go for this Ice Punch. I should have gone for Psychic. Psychic would have KO'd the Swampert right there, and we do get to another one. So we're going to go ahead and shield this charge move right here. And I could have just farmed down. Again, I kind of misplayed this. I should have just thrown Psychic, been done with it, or done the Ice Punch, farmed down, right? So we're just going to go ahead and take out the Swampert, and then the Medicham can take out the Alolan Marowak, and that is going to be a good game. They do get to another charge move, but I think this is just going to be a Bone Club, which again is not enough to take us out, and we fast move down, and that will be a good battle. Very well played to my opponent. that was the final battle right there. So, what do you guys think about Talonflame? Again, I think it's extremely strong. It's a lot of fun to use, and you guys can use it on many different teams. So I decided to try it with Medicham and Umbreon. It went really well. This team's very strong. So let me know down in the comments what you guys thought about today's video and these battles. And like always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.